Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is the BIS Business Information Solutions Summit Digital Marketing Divisions, how to market your business online and boost sales. Um, Earlier, I made an announcement that I will repeat that we are, for those who are attending the seminar today, we will be mailing a Chick-fil-A gift card to you. Unfortunately, we found out that we can't email them out to you for you to use today, but you should be looking out for those over the next week. You will receive those Chick-fil-A gift cards. So we're going to go ahead and kick off and thank everyone for joining us today and attending this seminar. We look to give out some very critical information to you for everyone who's attending. My name is Joshua Brown. I am the marketing consultant who work diligently with small businesses on the Gulf Coast to meet their needs, and I also am the technology consultant here at BIS. I am a native of Baldwin County and a graduate of the University of South Alabama. And I majored in marketing with a minor in business management. And I do a lot of volunteer work. So that's a little backstory on who I am so you can put a face with the voice. And then also on the seminar today, who will also be speaking is Kenley Sweet. Kenley, if you want to say hi.
Hello, everybody.
All right. And Kenley is our director of digital marketing, and she creates and she provides effective digital marketing strategies for local businesses on the Gulf Coast. She works with over 20 social media clients and has previously handled over 50 clients or so. And she also went to my alma mater of the University of South Alabama, where she studied communications and marketing. So now we're going to jump into some of the facts. As you see here on this page, it says if data is sent over an unsecure connection, then 84% of visitors who would not go through with the purchase. This is saying that if you, for instance, when it comes to digital marketing, if you're sending information to your prospective customers and it's, maybe it looks fishy, maybe it looks unsecure, or you're sending them to your website that is not secure, then, hey, 84% of those customers that you're trying to bring in, they're not going to be interested. They're not going to go through with the purchase because they don't feel as though you have a secure website. Now, this is the kickoff to our seminar. We want to be able to provide you with crucial information, including statistical data, of how to most effectively market your business online. And as you see to the right, it says 46% of people on social media will not stop following a business for being too salesy. But that doesn't mean that they'll buy. And then there's another statistic down at the lower left saying 61% of small companies invest in social media marketing, because as we go through this seminar and through this presentation, you'll see how effective social media marketing is to reaching your clientele. So here's some more facts as we go along. And my favorite one is at the bottom right, where it says 53% of businesses advertise on social media. And these are just some surface level facts that to give you information about that. As we go through this seminar, we'll take more deep dives. I don't want to give away too much at the beginning, but we'll definitely take a deep dive into these facts. Kenley, did you want to add any input to some of these facts here?
Yeah, so some of these are, they're really important, and it really, one of the reasons we included this is just to show you how much opportunity there is.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll really learn throughout the presentation. We'll go over some of the social media statistics, how many users they have. So you're really going to be able to see, like, wow, how many people are active on social media, how important your website is, and much more throughout this webinar.
And and two other facts that are on here are 48% of people said that the design of the website at the top right is the number one factor in determining the credibility of a business. Kenley and I, we just met with a local company here in the Gulf Coast, and one of their biggest things were, does the website look credible? The design of their website, they want to make sure, and they ask for feedback from their customers and their clients to say, how does our website look? Because they want to make sure that their website is attracting those new customers and keeping the existing customers. So now we're going to move on we're going to start talking about the four steps, the four-step digital marketing approach. Step number one is the website. Step number two is the SEO, which is search engine optimization, that we'll be covering all of these. Step number three, social media, like Facebook and Instagram and so. And then also step number four are just the online ads that you may see as you're surfing through the net or maybe in your emails or so forth. And as you see it, the hand with the ball, obviously says SEO and placement, traffic, marketing, all these things we're going to go over and craft for you the best ways to market your business online and reach your customer base so that you can then pull in those new customers and have a very high return on your investment in the marketing of your business. So now, your digital marketing is just like a car. As you see in this illustration, there's all types of different parts that make this car. And it takes all the parts to make the car work. So as we talk about your digital marketing, it takes having a well-designed website with a secure website, and then having search engine optimization and having the social media set up and your Google My Business page and backlinks to directories. It takes all of these parts to make your digital marketing, or in this illustration, your car, to make it work, to get it moving forward and to grow your business. Now, when we talk about growing your business and using digital marketing, the end goal is to generate leads and get a return on your investment, to drive sales for your company, to increase revenue. And now, Kenley, we're going to talk about how to generate leads using your website.
Yes. So let's dive in to some tips we have for you guys and some great examples of how you can do so using your website. So first, we're going to look at, let's look at the home page. So really, when you think of your website, what's the first page people see? 95% of the time is going to be your home page. So this saying 5 things in 5 seconds, we're going to go through the 5 things. It's extremely crucial, and it's a really good tool to have in your business, in whatever your business may be. This is really just a basic when it comes to websites and how people relate with the website. So I'm sure some of you guys have heard like the statistic that says it takes 5 seconds, only 5 seconds is all you have to leave an impression on a potential customer. Really, whether it be on social media, your website, but it's extremely important on your website because you have to think of this as your one shot to really leave a lasting impression on a customer, because like it says here, you have about only 5 seconds. So let's go over the 5 things that you want to make sure you have implemented on your website. So the first one would be who you are. You want to make sure you have your logo. For example, here on our website, on BIS's website, you can see the logo is clearly shown in the left-hand corner. Now this is embedded on the header of the website, so no matter what page you go to, that logo will always stay there. So you want to make sure you have that site identity so people are able to see your logo and it'll leave an impression on them when they visit your site. So the second thing would be what you do. So it's extremely important on your homepage that you have it clearly stated exactly what you do. So for example, on ours, it says go beyond traditional IT support. So right off the bat, you're able to see that the website is for an IT company that offers IT support. That's their main service, their overall service that they offer. So for instance, if you are a plumber, or let's say you work in HVAC, or maybe you are a restaurant, maybe a Mexican restaurant or something, you would want to make sure people know exactly what service or product you offer, or what you can, what your business goal and your biggest service and product is. Make sure it's clear and right on the front page so no one can miss it when they navigate to your website. And also, let's look at number 3. So that's how to contact. Now this is one that a lot of people, I think, miss out on this opportunity and forget how important it is. So you want to have right on your homepage, especially towards the top. A lot of people think that it needs to just be in your footer. But really having it in your header or more towards the top is going to give you more of a chance that that client or that potential client or customer is going to click that button to contact you. You don't want your visitors to have to scroll through your home page, through your whole website, through other pages to try and find a phone number, an email, whatever it may be. So make sure that that is extremely clear and concise, and you have a way to contact you on your homepage. So next is credibility. So this is a great addition to your homepage. So here you can see, we have all the things, the people we have worked with that are extremely credible, al.com, local 15. If your business was featured, in a magazine, if you have any awards, accreditations that you have received, put those on your website. That really just builds your credibility without having to do any more work. You just showcase the things that you have maybe worked with, the people you've worked with, and all of the awards that you may have been honored with. People love to see the credibility that your business has, and it really is a great thing to have on your homepage because they don't have to go anywhere else to see that. It's right there, right in their face. And then the last one is what action to take. So you want to make sure on your homepage, for example, here, it's asking you to download the free cybersecurity starter pack. So people know when they go to your homepage exactly where they're supposed to go next. A lot of times businesses have it to where there is no action that their visitors is supposed to take on their homepage, and that will result in them just leaving your website, and that's the last thing you want. So having the action button on your homepage will get people to engage more with your business and even stay on your website longer, which is in return really what you want, so you can leave a longer lasting impression on them.
So here we have, Kenley, do you use forms to capture leads?
Yes. So this is a great do. We're going to go over a do and a don't for your website. So this is a great added feature to a website that will really help you capture those leads. If you don't have a form fill on your website, odds are you're going to lose a lot of potential customers or clients, because a lot of the times people are on their website or on your website maybe when you're not open, so they can't exactly call you. They may not want to speak with you. They may just want to, put in their information and really just get an email that has a little bit more info about your business. So having those forms on your website is crucial, and you can actually have them throughout your website. So a lot of people think, just having a contact form on your contact page is all you need, when in reality, you actually can add, for example, here, you can add a form fill that is asking you to input your information to receive a free copy. So maybe you have like a white label or an infographic that you have developed, something that you want to, give to people really to help boost your credibility as well. That way you're able to give them something and you're capturing their information. So they can be a great, great way to get more clients' information. So that way you're able to reach out to them, and build that relationship with them off of the website.
A definite do is to have those lead capturing forms on your website. But a don't that you shouldn't do is don't post duplicate content on your website.
Yes. So duplicate content, we'll talk a little bit more down the presentation about, adding content to your website. And I think it's said so much that you want to have so much content on your website. It's great for visitors. You want to have as many educational posts. Maybe you have blog posts. It may be, but what you really want to stay away from is that duplicate content. So when you are building a new web page, let's say you want to add a blog or an event, per se, or just add more content to another page, you really need to stay away from copying paragraphs from other pages on your website, because Google actually penalizes you for that. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you have, fresh, new content, nothing that is maybe duplicated from another section on your website.
So when we go into not duplicating content and how they can do damage to your website, that brings about search engine optimization. And as you see this illustration here where it says, I see you set up your site without SEO best practices. I also like to live dangerously. And this is a question that I'm asked so often of why can't people find my website? So Kenley, if you would take us through some of the best practices of SEO. And number one is, focusing on keywords.
Yep. So we'll start with keywords. So keywords is really, if you are familiar with search engine optimization, a lot of what you probably hear about and understand is the keywords. So you want to make sure, if you are a national company, for instance, and you are a restaurant, this is just the example we have on our screen. So for your keywords, if you're wanting to rank nationally, you would just have restaurants as a focus keyword on one of your pages, in contrast to local. So if you're wanting to rank locally, which I know a lot of you guys are, small local businesses. So local is, really what we focus on with our clients. You would want to add that city and that state after your keyword. So this really lets Google know that that city is specifically where you're wanting to show up on Google or, any search engine. So making sure you include the city is extremely important. And I know there are a lot of businesses that don't necessarily just want to focus on one city, and that is totally fine. Make sure that you have keywords for all of the cities you may want to target. So if you want to target for Fairhope, make sure that you are, one of your focus keywords is restaurants Fairhope, restaurants, in Daphne or Gulfport, wherever it may be, you don't necessarily have to just have one city, but make sure that you are including those cities in your keywords so Google can pick up, what location you're wanting to show up for.
And you really have to tap into that creative side of what are the keywords that my customers or my clients would be searching that would lead them to me. We have restaurants, Pensacola, but maybe there's some kind of specialty that your business particularly does. And you type in those specialties. Maybe it's a product or maybe it's a certain service, and you want to use that. Going, and sometimes, and Ken, I believe you can attest to this. Sometimes it's the incorrect spelling of your business that, if you have a unique name and most people can't spell it correctly, and sometimes the incorrect spelling could be a good keyword to input to find your business.
Yes, definitely. And when you go to look at, the keywords to kind of like piggyback off of what you just said, Josh, it's really important, to think about what are my target market, what are they looking up to find my business? And, a lot of what we help businesses with is finding that, doing that research. It is very, tedious, but there are tools that we use that help us see, what words are the most popular and what keywords are. But, to start off, basic, you really need to put yourself in your customer, your potential customer shoes, and make sure you are focusing on words that are not only relevant to your business, but relevant to what your customer is searching for.
Tedious, but very, very beneficial.
Yes,
So
very effective.
now number two is to optimize the metadata and title. And a lot of individuals forget these, how
Yes.
they're important.
Yes. So, a lot of what SEO is, like I said, is the keywords. That's what so many people know about. But one of the biggest portions of search engine optimization is optimizing the metadata and the title tags. So it is a little bit more on the technical side, and it is on the back end of your site where you do this work. But you want to make sure that your website, when they're popping up on search engines, that it is including the keywords that you want to rank for. And here you can see an example for BIS is number one, IT support and security services, which is great. This is the perfect um, the perfect meta title tag and meta description that you'd want to have. So you want to include those keywords that you're wanting to show up for, and then you also want to include the cities. So this is just right here, there's Mobile and Pensacola. So this lets Google know that we want to show up for people that are looking for IT support in Mobile or IT support in Pensacola. So make sure that you include, the cities that you're also wanting to target alongside those keywords. And then below the title tag is the meta description. So this is also extremely important. It has to be relevant to the meta title above. So you can see here, in the title it says IT support, and in the description it says IT support as well. So you want to make sure there is a correlation between the two, because Google will pick up on it if it just is irrelevant. So make sure that it matches up with your title, because you want people on the search engines to be able to see exactly what you do, and they want to know that the page that they're going to be going to is for what they were looking up.
Then there's number three, and this is something that once companies create a website, some of them forget to, you have to consistently go back and add new content, whether it's monthly or so, to keep your website fresh. And that also works very well with the SEO. So Kenley, if you would give us some insights on to
Yeah.
adding new content.
Yep. So adding new content is another critical part. of SEO. So like I was talking about before when we were talking about the don'ts of your website, adding duplicate content. So when you are updating your website and adding fresh content, nothing that is already on your site, no copy and pasted pages or anything like that, because it will negatively affect you. But when you are constantly updating and adding fresh content, whether it be an events page, maybe employee of the month, maybe you have a blog. A blog is what we really suggest and what we do a lot for our SEO clients because it's fresh content and it's updated monthly. You want to make sure that you're at least updating your site with new content and adding fresh, maybe photos or the blog, like I said, at least once a month because Google will pick up that your site is live. It's being added, content is being added monthly, and people are, interacting with your site. And, another big part, and it kind of goes hand in hand with social media marketing, but, when you add blogs, it's a great way to link people from your social media. You can share that blog, that new content you added on your website. You can share it on your social media channels, and it'll actually then bring people to your website. So get you some more website visitors. So the blog is really the biggest thing that we suggest to businesses because it's so simple, but it can be so consistent, every month or twice a month and add that fresh new content.
And then penetrating the search engine optimization and keeping your website fresh with Google and Bing and so forth. So there's adding the new content, and that's number three. But number four is updating your website as a whole. And this should, you should update your website every 3 to 5 years. And that is the best way to keep up with SEO, with the search engine optimization of your website. It's one of the best practices to, for every 3 to 5 years, okay, now it's time for me to do an update on my website.
Yes, it's extremely important because you have to think of it just like every other aspect of marketing, with social media or even print marketing. If you have, maybe you have mailers that you send out, you have to update it every now and then because things change and evolve so much. So making sure that you are updating your website, making it, more fresh. Maybe it's, it needs a new sleek design. It needs to be more user friendly, easy to navigate. Are just a few examples of things that you want to make sure your website um, works well with because the the way people navigate on your website and the time they spend on your website affects your SEO and affects your rankings on search engines. So make sure to reevaluate your website every 3 to 5 years is industry standard, and that's really what we suggest as well.
Updating your website. And then number five, link, link, link.
Yes. So there are, we're going to go over three different main types of links that need to be
Mhm.
added on your website. There's so many and it can be so confusing. So we're going to kind of break it down a little bit for you guys. So links out. Links out are essentially external links. So on your website, you have all of this content, and let's say you are referencing, maybe it's a credible a government source, maybe it's a scholarly journal, or anything of those sorts. If you add those links, it really does help your search engine optimization because it shows Google that you are linking to other sources besides your website. And then in contrast to that, we have the internal links. So internal links are linking to other portions of your website. So for example, if you have a about page on the bottom of that, towards the bottom, you may want to include some links to, your contact page, or maybe a service, or it could be a blog post like we were talking about before. But adding those internal links is very simple, and it is extremely effective and really can help your SEO rankings.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to keep these links up to date.
Yes, yes,
Consistent work on the website. You have to keep these links up to date.
yes. That's extremely important. If you do, like we said, the slide before, if you do update your website and you change any URLs, make sure to adjust those internal links that you may have, because the last thing you want is to have what we call broken links all over your website. So even though it is a great SEO practice, if you do not keep it up to date and make sure that that they're all working, it can negatively affect you. So just keep up with that. And the internal links is a great way to help your SEO rankings. And then we have the backlinks. So backlinks is actually having another website point back to your website. So this is, I can't stress the credibility enough. A lot of times people will just, pick, websites that have nothing to do with their business at all, and they're completely irrelevant, and they are linking back to your website, and Google actually will penalize you for that. So make sure, especially the credibility on backlinks is especially important and extremely important. I can't stress that enough, because Google will penalize you if there are backlinks that are irrelevant and have nothing to do with your business at all. But they can be extremely beneficial in your SEO and in your rankings.
Yes, and so there's number 6. Don't leave out headers. As you see, we have the main header, subheader, and the other subheader, and then subheadings.
Yes, yes, the list of headings can go on and on. It's crazy. But it is extremely important whenever you have a web page that you have headers throughout your website. Think of it as a essay that you are reading that has no headings on it, and it is just a straight shot of information. Half the time, or most of the time, and Josh, knows this. He's actually in his master's program. He just started that at South Alabama. And if you don't have those headings, you're not going to know what you're supposed to be reading. It really makes you, and Google, this is, it goes hand in hand. It just makes you not be able to understand exactly what that section may be about. So on your web pages, have your main heading, whether it be, services. We could just say, for an example, IT support, since we've used that throughout the presentation. If we have a page about IT support, you want to have headings underneath those with snippets of information. So you may have, why you need IT support. And then there may be another heading about, additional services that we offer for IT support, or, in combination with IT support. So that way it's easier not only for you, your audience and your potential customers to read your content on your website, but it actually helps Google extremely, because they're able to see, what that information is going to be about, because, in the end, it has to all be relevant. And that's how they see how relevant your content is to your business and to your, your keywords that you have in that content.
And Kenley, there was a lot of questions about alt text and tags. Could you explain that?
Yes. So this is often something that gets left out a lot on websites. So essentially, the alt text is really just the description of your photo. So whenever you put a photo on your website, There normally on most like website platforms, there is a place for you to enter the alt text, and a lot of times people just skip through it, but you want to make sure you have a description of the photo that you have on your website in that alt text. So for example here, what you don't want to do is just put picture of student. What you want to do is say a postgraduate engineering student working in the new electron microscope, I messed that one up, lab. So you can see the difference in the descriptions. And it's not only important for Google, to read the back end of your site and be able to correlate your photos with your content and see what your photo may be featuring. It's actually extremely important because the visually impaired, this is what they use on your websites when they go to your websites, and Google can actually extremely penalize your website if it is not up to standards, because the visually impaired need to be able to see or read what the photo is representing. So make sure you have a very detailed description in your alt text of your image.
Yes, and because you definitely don't want to be penalized by any of the search engines, especially the big guy Google.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Also, number 8 is to set up social media sites.
Yes, so social media, I think a lot of times it's kind of forgotten when it comes to SEO, but it actually can really help your search engine optimization. So right here, we have 4 that are, some of the bigger networks. We have
Mhm.
Facebook, the setting up of Facebook is pretty simple. Adding a YouTube channel. So YouTube actually has its own like SEO optimization inside of it. So it has a lot of capabilities. So if you're someone that shoots a lot of videos, or maybe you have, marketing materials, that videography that you've had, put it on YouTube, and do some of the things that we've discussed previously, the adding the metadata, all of that you can actually do, and the keyword focus you can do on YouTube. Also, there is Instagram. And Instagram actually is owned by Facebook. So if you have a Facebook, it's pretty simple to create to create an Instagram, and then you just simply link them both. You can
Click of
link
a
them to each
button.
other. Mm-hmm. It's very, very simple. And then we have LinkedIn, which is very important, especially for the people that are, B2B. So if your target market is other businesses, LinkedIn is a great social media outlet for you. Make sure that all of your information on your social channels, your phone number, your website, make sure they all are, identical and they all are the same, and it can really help boost your SEO, your search engine optimization.
Yes. And then going to number 9 is claiming the listings on Google and Bing.
Yes. So this is one, the last thing we'll touch on with SEO, and it's definitely not the least important for sure. It's very important for your business. So on Google, a lot of people are familiar with Google My Business. If you're not, that's something that we can easily help you set up. But really, it is, Google is the biggest search engine. So you want to make sure that your business is set up on your Google My Business listing is set up. You can see here for Dauphin's, you can see all those reviews they have. So you want to make sure you have that set up properly, because most people are going to Google to find your business. So if they can read all those reviews, it's extremely critical for your business to have your Google My Business set up. Whether you have in an actual location, or maybe you just do stuff online, you don't have a physical location, that is okay. You can still set up a Google My Business listing and claim it, as well as Bing. And there's so many features with the Google listing here, I mean, you can see where it says reserve a table, all your information's there, and it's definitely a part of your SEO strategy that you want to make sure that you are implementing if you aren't already. And like I said, if you don't know exactly where to start with claiming, your Google My Business listing or your Bing listing, we can definitely help you.
Yeah, and you also want to keep these listings, like your Google My Business profile, keep those up to date as well.
Yes.
For example, I was just looking yesterday at a restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants here along the Gulf Coast, and on their Google listing, they only had takeout marked as that they're doing, but they're doing dine-in, takeout, and delivery. And if I had not called, I would have overlooked that place and never went to that business.
Yes, yeah, you want to make sure, you're updating it constantly. And if you don't have your listing claimed, sometimes it may just automatically create one. And Google can, because there's no activity on it, Google can actually edit stuff on that. It could actually say that you are temporarily closed if the listing hasn't gotten any action. So you want to make sure that you have that claimed, because if something like that is to happen, you can easily go in there and adjust it, because like you said, Josh, I mean, that's where you go to see the restaurants, any business is your Google
Yeah.
My Business listing. It's one of the first thing that pops up on Google.
Especially in the times that we're in now, you definitely, everyone is definitely checking and see, okay, are they even open? Are they even
Yes,
providing this service?
exactly.
But now the next thing, as we've covered the website and setting up your website and the things that you should do to consistently have your SEO chiming on your website, is the social media marketing. And I know everyone should be familiar with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So it says, oh, so you're using social media without a strategy. Now that is very, very dangerous, because you are at that point uh, just blowing money, using social media without a strategy. And at the bottom it says, tell me how that's going, because I'm pretty sure you're not seeing a good return on your investment if you're not taking a strategic approach to using social media marketing. Now, as we Kenley mentioned before, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, and here's a list of the top seven main networks. Where Facebook, you have about 2.32 billion monthly users, and it's the best platform for B2C to reach your customer base. And uh, even from the businesses, the owners, if you're looking for B2B, the owners of companies, their customers. So when they get on their Facebook or their Instagram late at night, you can still target them based off of their interests. So Facebook is a heavily and highly used marketing tool to reach your customer base that you're trying to get in front of. And then there's Twitter. As you see, the data of Twitter is about 326 million monthly users. And it's best for larger companies, or more of the influencers are on Twitter, because you can watch and see what they tweet all day and what they're endorsing. LinkedIn has about 500 million members. I am a member of LinkedIn, and I hope all of you are too. And it is great for B2B, a prospecting tool, and getting to direct messages and so forth. Then there's Pinterest, which has about 250 million monthly users, and the majority of these users are women. And it's best for e-commerce and sharing blogs. Now, even though the majority of the users are on Pinterest are women, I use Pinterest as well whenever I need, whenever I need some ideas, or I just want to look at, what does this outfit look like? What is that new backyard project I want to do at home? Or maybe, just something to do. Pinterest is a great platform for that. Then there's Instagram, which of course, Facebook owns Instagram, and Instagram has about 1 billion monthly users, and only 35% of online adults use Instagram. So, even though Instagram has a lot of users, there are a lot of younger population as far as teenagers and kids, if that's your target market, that use Instagram. That's the best way to reach them or reach some of the adults between the ages of 18 and 45. Uh, then there's Snapchat with 186 million daily users. I'm one of those. I believe Kenley is too.
Yes.
Because we're definitely in that range of the majority of users are between 18 and 34 years of age. And then the last one is YouTube uh, with 1.9 billion monthly users. Now, YouTube comes in right behind Facebook. So as you see the hierarchy here of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, when it comes to how many users are used, where's that big audience that I can target after? Those three are the highest ranking ones. And it says the world's second largest search engine is YouTube. And the terms that are always used, that are highly used, are how to
Yes.
how to build this or how to bake a cake or so forth. Though, so putting videos up there, and they don't have to be the best, most creative videos, but if they get to the point and they solve an issue or solve an answer, those videos can bring in that traffic to your business. And then Kelly, if you would talk about, some of the posts that bring about engagement, creating the engaging posts.
Yep. So engagement is, one of that's really what social media was started for. What was it? What was the whole point of social media back in the day? I mean, it was to engage with your friends, with your family. So engagement, even though, businesses are really taking over and promoting your business on social media is just blew up like crazy. The one thing that has stayed the same is the engagement. So really the challenge is finding ways to, be engaging with your potential customers. So here are just a few topics and some great ideas for anybody that uses social media to promote their business and may already actively be using it. Some behind the scenes posts, those perform very well. People love to see who's behind the business that they use or they follow. It really helps build that relationship and that trust with your potential customers. We have funny posts. So, for some businesses, they may not, use funny posts. It may not be relevant to their business, but people love, love, love sharing funny stuff. I mean, that's about what 90% of my newsfeed is. Events is great. If you have anything going on within your business, anything that you're going to be a part of, share that on your social media. You can even create an event, and people can actually, say if they're going interested, if they're going. For example, this, webinar, this seminar, we had an event on Facebook. So I'm sure some of you guys will be coming from there. We have holiday posts. Those are also very, very popular. And some businesses, choose not to post for holidays. It really just depends from business to business, but they are a great way to, increase your engagement. Animals is huge. People love animals. People love dogs. A lot of times, we'll post some type of fun holiday, National Dog Day, and the amount of people that comment, pictures of their dogs and so on, just their animals. People love it. That's one thing a lot of people have in common is their love for animals. Product showcase. So showcase some of the products that you sell, especially, this is great for e-commerce. If you are a boutique that sells clothing, if you sell, a food item, whatever it may be, make sure that you're showcasing those products. Testimonials. Another great way to really, I mean, this really helps build your credibility a ton. So, add those testimonials, those reviews you're getting on Google and, maybe on your website or, they're emailing you reviews, showcase those, use them to market your business. Post when you're hiring. And facts, education, those are great ones. Those are, I call educational posts. People love those, and people are really, they're more likely to share those. If it's not a salesy post, it's more just kind of spreading, knowledge. A lot of people love to engage with those on social media. Community service, this is another great way to build your credibility and get people engaging. And contest is huge. Giveaways, if you have anything that you want to give away to your followers, people share those posts like crazy, and your business, your name and your business will just spread like wildfire, because so many people love to participate in giveaways and contests. So that is a great way to promote your business and get people on your social channels to engage with your brand and your business.
Oh yeah. So then we go over the how to increase engagement, and it's things like keeping your posts short, educating your audience, using eye-catching images, and doing Facebook Lives. I don't know if you follow us on Facebook, but as you notice, we've been doing weekly Facebook Lives of giving internal behind the scenes updates on things that are going on within BIS. And then add a call to action button to your post that you're posting out on social media. And then, as Kenley was just saying, host some contests. I, for one, am very competitive. So I like to participate in some of these contests and see if I can win whatever that thing is, that shiny object at the end. But now, Kelly, let's go over some of the social media do's and don'ts. And I always like, because I think I know what the first one is, because I always like this one, is don't be too salesy. And
Yes,
and
yeah, that.
just to give everyone a little backstory, I come from the auto industry, so this always gets me.
Yes, you are that guy. Yes, you wanna make sure that you're not constantly, every day, whether you're posting 7 times a week, 4 times a week. You want to make sure that all of your posts are not geared towards sales, and that just piggybacks off of what we just were talking about, and some of the ideas we gave you. Integrate some of those engaging posts into your strategy to split up those salesy posts that you of course are going to be including, but don't want to overdo it.
Yes, and they're not having enough words on a page or a blog post. That's a don't. Just don't be too salesy on your post, but do know your audience.
Yes, yeah, this is critical when coming up or when trying to figure out where to start with your social media strategy, even your, any digital marketing, any marketing strategy at all. You want to make sure you know your audience. And the really great thing about social media is most of the tools, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you're actually able to see who's following, who's following your page. What age are they? Are they males? Are they females? Where are they located? So make sure you know your audience and know what they like. So if have a younger audience, make sure you focus a lot of your efforts on Instagram, and make sure you tailor what you're posting to your audience and your demographic.
Oh yes, know your audience. The tools that are on these social media devices, I mean, platforms are they're mind blowing. Then there's also a don't of please do not ignore your followers.
Yes, this is a big one. A lot of people think, okay, I'll just post and that's all it takes. And not really. You want to make sure you're engaging with your followers. So if you have posts where you have people commenting on them, and it's going to happen, especially if you're integrating those engagement posts, when your customers are um, and your followers are commenting back, if they're messaging your page, make sure you comment back at, in a timely manner. If anything, make sure you like or react to the comment, and just don't leave them stagnant, because actually, the algorithms of Facebook and Instagram rely heavily on your engagement with your followers, very, very heavily. And it's only getting worse. So make sure, that you set time apart in your week to, respond to people, or, like some of the comments that people may have left on your posts, because the algorithm will pick up on that. You want to make sure that you're consistently, replying back. And it also really shows that you care about your followers. I love to interact with pages that reply back to the comments. You'll see huge businesses, like Best Buy and companies like that in that size range, and you go on their social media channels and you see that they're replying to every comment, and it's awesome. It's great to see. So people love to see a business that's engaging constantly with their followers.
And it is showing that you care.
Yes, exactly.
Now, there is also a thing, the social media editorial calendar, and this is
Yes.
a due to use this calendar. Kelly, would you go into about the benefits of this calendar?
Yeah. So this is a great tool to use, especially if you're someone who has a smaller team. You do a lot of the work yourself. Maybe you do, the marketing yourself, and you just don't really have time to consistently post. So creating a content calendar, as I call it, is an awesome tool for you, and it really helps increase your consistency. So there are tools out there. There are free ones if you just look up free social media content calendar. There are tons of different softwares and websites that you can use, or you can simply use a Google Calendar, separate just for your social media. That way you're able to see, in front of your eyes exactly what you have scheduled out. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's, for the month. You're able to see what you have planned out, and that way, it really holds you to that standard of making sure you post it, so that you can be consistent on your social media channels. But it really is a great added tool that we use, and I suggest anyone uses, and it's very, very simple to set up.
I heard you say a key word of consistent, and so I have to go with the don't of do not post inconsistently on your social media.
Yes. Yes, this just piggybacks off of what I was just saying. Adding, and it really, what I was just talking about with the editorial calendar, it really helps you avoid this issue. So don't post inconsistently. It is very, very important, and not just for your followers to see that you are consistent in your posting, so you're credible. A lot of people go to social media to find businesses before they even go to Google. So a lot of times if I especially through COVID, trying all the different updates with the businesses and how much it affected businesses. If I went to Facebook to look for a restaurant and they hadn't posted in a couple months, I just assumed that they were probably, not in business, or that maybe they were closed. So that is just an opportunity that you just want to make sure you aren't missing out on. So being consistent with your post is extremely important, and also it does affect the algorithm for social media. So if you're not posting consistently, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the social networks will pick up on that, and then they'll stop showing your posts to your audience, to your followers. So make sure that you are consistent, and by doing that you can utilize that content calendar, that social media content calendar, to really help you be more consistent.
Oh yes, and do ask questions in your posts. That's that getting that engagement, asking those questions of to your followers.
Yes, yeah, that is a great way, just a simple way to increase your engagement, alongside all of the other different examples we gave you. Asking questions is great. It really shows your followers, and most of them are going to be your potential customers. So it really shows people that you care about their opinion, you care about their input. So it is a great way to build not just, your of course help your consistency on your social media, but really build that credibility for yourself and your brand.
Mhm. And but don't beg for likes and shares. Now, how? What is what makes what is begging for the like or a share?
Okay,
Could you
so
describe that?
yeah, yes, of course. So a good example would be, a Facebook page that constantly is posting, share this post. Every now and then. An example of when to do so is a giveaway or a contest, like we talked about before. Of course, you can ask them to like and share, but really, with social media, it's a passive, you know, way for people to see your business. They're not necessarily going there to buy from you. So the last thing you want to do is irritate them or, have them feel like they are obligated to share, and they have to share, they have to like, try and stay away from that, because people will kind of take it as they're being asked to complete an action, which a lot of people that are on social media, that's not exactly what they're looking to do. They're just looking to browse, and looking to engage when they feel like they would like to engage, not
Yes.
that they're required to do so.
Yes. And then, do post videos. People love to watch those 15-second or less than a minute videos. Some people, if you have followers that have watched the entire video, the likelihood of being able to sell to them, for them to make a purchase with your company goes high, through the roof. So do
Yes.
post videos, but don't delete negative comments.
Yes. Do not. This is actually on most social networks. For reviews, you can't delete them. So for comments, you can. A lot on Facebook, I know, and Instagram, you're able to delete your comments. If there are comments that are completely irrelevant to your business, maybe it's just they are on the wrong business page, or, they are just, it's not relevant at all to anything about your business, those are acceptable to delete. Or if it has any profanity, anything that's vulgar in it, definitely hide the comment or remove it. But any negative comments, don't delete them. You can simply reply, or if you feel like you don't want to necessarily engage with it, you can just, like it or just leave it there, but don't constantly delete comments that, you may not disagree with, especially if you're asking them to engage in your posts.
Yes, because the negative comments are an opportunity, because there are other people who has also seen this negative comment, so they're waiting for you to respond, and how you respond will dictate how they engage with your business.
Exactly.
So view a negative comment as an opportunity. And it is okay, and you need to have a personality with your digital presence, with your social media, and in your posts.
Yes, yeah, that is something, there are some businesses that are going to be more, their voice, and their company kind of represents maybe more of a serious industry. But if you're in that, those other industries that, can have more fun, I would like to say, is that's probably the best way to put it, is just make sure that you're portraying that on your social media. It really helps people see that you are extremely personable. It's entertaining, and it really shows why you're different from your competitors, and really, highlights the the reason that, you know, you stand out against your competitors. So make sure that you're implementing, you know, whatever personality, as you can, you know, say is of your business. Make sure that you're portraying that on your social media channels, because, you know, it's such a creative outlet.
Yes, yes, but don't do clickbait posts. Those
Yes.
posts that are just, you know, hey, click this, click on this, and win, you know,
Yes.
$10,000 or win a new car. It's going to hurt the algorithms within your social media, because people are not going to engage with it, or they're going to report it.
Yes.
You know, they could just simply report your post, and that will damage uh, your visibility and how you are able to reach the customers that you want to reach. But now, do pay to play. You do
Yes.
want to invest in your social media marketing, because you are investing in your company. And if you're using the right social media marketing strategy, you will get that return. For, you know, for every $1 spent, three should come back. So you will definitely get that return. But don't be unprofessional. And this kind of goes with the negative comments. You know,
Yes.
when you respond to those negative comments, do not respond unprofessionally. Do not dismiss that person. This goes into an online reputation management here. So you always want to be respectable and professional on everything that you post, and every response that you give on your social media, because other people are watching. Other
Yes.
potential customers are watching. But, you know, do sell. Don't be too salesy, but do sell your product, your business on social media.
Yes, yeah, definitely. You know, there's a fine line in between being too salesy, and you just have to remember as well, you know, although, you know, utilize some of the examples we gave you to kind of make it more engaging, but make sure that you're including, you know, some posts in there that are promoting your services, because in the end, that's really what you're trying to do, with your Facebook, your business pages, and your social media platforms. You're wanting to, you know, sell, but also, you know, build that credibility, build that relationship, and increase that engagement, and brand awareness on social media. But don't leave out the selling, of course.
And don't complain.
Yes, definitely, you know, stray away from that. And this just goes hand in hand with the unprofessional. You know, try and stay as professional as possible. Don't complain, you know, don't post anything, you know, that maybe make people feel uncomfortable. You know, try and stay professional on your social media channels.
Because no one wants to attach themselves to a negative Nancy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But do know the best times to post. And this goes into a lot of the data that is given from the social media platforms, where you can see, you know, who are the people, what are the people, how many people are following you, and what times are they usually on there. You can use that data to know the best times for me to post this particular post on Instagram or on Facebook. Is that 9:15 a.m. or is that, you know, 2:30 p.m. Do know the best times to post.
Yes, definitely.
Ooh. Don't forget to check for grammar and spelling mistakes before posting.
Yes, yeah, this is extremely important. If your business, if you're constantly posting on your business page, your social media, your Facebook, Instagram, and you have a ton of grammatical errors, it really, you know, does decrease your credibility as a business. So one of the tools that I use, and I know a lot of people use, is Grammarly. It's a plugin that you can add to, I want to say it's Chrome, if you use, you know, if you're using your computer a lot, and it'll like assess your whole, whether it's your grammar on your website, you know, any content you have, and it'll quickly tell you, you know, some of the errors you may have. So just simply using that tip to help before, or just proofing your posts before you post them, you know, is extremely important, because you want to make sure that everything, you know, has correct grammar and spelling on all of your posts.
Oh yes, I always like this one. But do match the right post to the right platform. You
Yeah.
know, go ahead.
Yes. Yep. So this just has a lot to do. You know, a good example is hashtags. So Instagram, LinkedIn, you know, they use hashtags, and hashtags are effective, I guess is what I should say. And Facebook, they're really not. They're really not as effective. So make sure, you know, if you're posting to multiple platforms, make sure that you're adjusting your strategy slightly for whatever social media platform you may be using. On, you know, Facebook, you know, add links a lot. People love clicking on links on Facebook, and, you know, LinkedIn, you can add hashtags. Instagram, add hashtags. And Facebook, it's the hashtags are kind of, you know, ineffective in reach and growing your page. So you may want to stray away from hashtags on Facebook.
Yes. Don't write in all caps at all times. You know, that goes back to the grammar and so forth of, you know, whenever you see all caps, you hear someone yelling.
Yes.
And that's how it goes into the interpretation, the English 101 interpretations of grammar.
Yes, exactly.
But it is possible to recycle content, but don't overdo it. And Kenley, could you give us some insight on uh, overdoing it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, a good example, you know, a quick example is just infographics. So let's say, you know, you have in a graphic that you made that has like tips on it. You can use that because normally, you know, unless you're in an industry where things are constantly changing, normally that's something that's going to be relevant, you know, year round or even year after year. So, you know, don't be afraid to use that post every 4 months, every, you know, 6 months, but definitely don't overdo it. Make sure that your content is consistently changing. And if you do recycle content, just make sure that it's not so close together that people, you know, that people will notice. So if you question it, just take that as a sign that you need to, you know, not reuse it yet. You need to wait a little bit because you want it to still reach other people as well. So
Now, we're going to go into Facebook ads 101. And this is the part where we talk about boosted posts versus actual Facebook ads. Can you give us uh, the insights on what the
yes.
difference of a boosted post is compared to an actual Facebook ad?
Yeah, so this is, you know, such an important part of your digital marketing strategy. If you don't have one, you know, where you're utilizing paid ads on social media, I definitely suggest you do. It's extremely hard nowadays to get your content out there and spread without using paid ads. So a lot of the time, you know, the biggest question I get is what the heck is the difference between boosted posts and ads and Facebook ads? So to kind of sum it up as easy as I can, boosted posts is a lot less customizable. So this is something that you could do right on your Facebook page. If you're scrolling through, you know, your business page, you'll see a little button that says Boost Post. You can click on that. Now you still can. You still have targeting options. You can pick, you know, an age, a location of where you're wanting to target. So you still can adjust your options, and it is a good option for people that are wanting to just kind of increase engagement. You know, maybe they have an event and it comes up in a week. You can boost it to your demographic, and it still is pretty effective. But the Facebook ads, in contrast, really is extremely customizable. So for Facebook ads, you actually set them up in Ads Manager. So it's not something that you can set up from your Facebook business page. So what you can do with the Facebook ads is almost just endless with your targeting options. So it's a ton more more customizable than the boosted post. You can pick so many more options for your demographic, so many more interests that your target audience may have. You can even have retargeting options available. So what retargeting is, to quickly explain it, retargeting is just taking people that maybe visited your website and then, having your ads that you create on Facebook only show to those people. So it's extremely, extremely effective. And with Facebook ads, you can set up retargeting ads, and that's not available on boosted posts. So that's just a simple synopsis of what the differences are between the two.
And then a question always comes up of how to set a budget. And my answer is you have to first calculate the lifetime value of your customer. And specifically, dive a little bit deeper in that, coming from the macro to the micro of what is this customer particularly spending with me per month,
Yes.
to be able to calculate what your budget. Now, your budgets, they vary depending upon the industry that you're in. And if, as we mentioned, you said do pay to play, so you want to put financial investments behind your social media strategy, your SEO, your website. You want to invest heavily in your business on these platforms, because the best way that you can reach the audience that you're trying to reach is through the digital streams.
Yes.
Word of mouth is very critical and very crucial, and now word of mouth has become digitalized.
Yes. Yes. Setting your budget, just to kind of like spin off of what you said, Josh, but setting your budget is such a big part of your strategy. That's, one of the first things you want to figure out with your digital marketing strategy, and setting up a budget for Facebook ads, is, how valuable is your customer? Is your product, maybe it's, a lower cost, maybe it's $10, or your service is, $500. You really have to take that into account, as well as, where your customers are. Is it only in one city that you're looking for customers, or is it multiple? So, on Facebook, we say the best place to start, or the average of what Facebook suggests, is about, $1,000 budget, but it's all customizable to, your target market and how much business, you're wanting to bring in and what return you're looking for. But Facebook ads and social media advertising is it's probably the most cost effective compared to the other paid advertising avenues on digital marketing.
So the question comes up then of what should I do next for the attendees that are, for everyone who's attending this seminar with us. And there's several options that you can do, and we want to make a special offer to everyone who's attending this webinar, and give you a review for free, a free review of your digital marketing strategy. And this offer includes website and social media review. And in that website is also that competitive SEO analysis. That's where we'll take a deep dive into what your company is doing, what your business is doing currently, and perform essentially a SWOT analysis. We want to look for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your digital marketing strategy, and how we could turn some things for your business. This is normally a $1,299 thing, but we're offering it to everyone for free. And so who's it for? Is for all of you freely who are attending this seminar today. And we would love to take that time and go over it. We can do it via Zoom, or we can do it in person, whichever you prefer. But I also want to reiterate that for everyone who attended this webinar, the seminar, that the Chick-fil-A gift cards will be mailed out to you So you should look for them over the next week. Unfortunately, we found out that we can't email them to you, so we have to mail them. So you will be receiving those Chick-fil-A gift cards in the mail in the next week. But also, you know, at the end of this survey, at the end of this seminar, there's a survey that's going to go out. So please fill out this survey to win a $50 gift card to a restaurant of your choosing. So this survey will be sent out. And please do fill this out so that you can win that $50 gift card. I wish I could fill it out so I could, win that gift card, but so please, 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 please take up on the offer of the free digital marketing strategy review, because we want to help your businesses any way that we can. And please do fill out the survey. Thank you everyone for attending with us today. We hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Kenley, is there anything else?
I think you covered it all, but thank you everyone for attending, and you guys have a great rest of your week.
All right. Take care, everyone.